Bring it on. Want some, get some.
Can I get a hell yeah?
Yes, I am a pirate.
You have to go with the Pirates because, of course, they have cannons and everything.
It's a pirate's life for me.
Be proud of who you are and what you are. You're Pirates.
It is a first down. Pirates.
Because when you're at East Carolina, you go for it every time. Or you don't coach at East Carolina, you don't come to East Carolina, you don't play at East Carolina with a weak heart. Write it.
I think I've ever been in a building as loud as that was. It was deafening in there.
We will get to Omaha. I can promise you that.
Red and purple all night long in Eastern North Carolina.
You're watching The Sports Objective, the podcast for Pirates.
Yeah. My heart is purple and gold. I'm a pirate down to my soul. And I don't back down, not at all. Find out when the cannons explode.
All right, welcome into Extra Innings here. We are live on a Sunday night as we're going to get to the coach and Landis in just a second. Kyle Barber, what's up, dude?
What's going on, Dave? Sitting here on a Sunday night. Now we're going to welcome in Bronzeville Patrick here in a little bit, but wanted to start off the show tonight. Barry Kearney.
Yep.
Barry, legendary Pirate. Guy was hugely involved in the Pirate Club for years. I believe he was a rep at one point, Dave. Also was the bass player for the Band of Oz for a while.
Started Pirates supporting Pirates.
He did. He was a part of. He was the mind behind Pirates supporting Pirates for the Pirate Club. And Barry's a guy that not everybody that was associated with East Carolina knew, but pretty much everybody that was associated with East Carolina knew. Barry did a lot of stuff behind the scenes at one point. Barry is very responsible. For me, I don't know if legitimizing myself rather than just being a guy that called into Pirate Radio that had an opinion. Barry, during the whole deal where, we were trying to get Jeff Confer out of here, Barry was, at that time was still very much an insider and actively involved. And Barry didn't really want to put himself out there. So guys like me and John Bream kind of became Barry's mouthpiece. And it was me on the radio, on Pirate Radio, getting information out for Barry about what was going on behind the scenes. And John Bream with his page, with his website and Facebook pages and flying planes and everything else Dr. Bream did. But Barry Kearney really kind of took me and made me part of his little social circle. I really didn't embrace it as much as I could have. Lots of times Barry invited us to do things and I didn't go. It's just my personality. I'm a little bit of a lone wolf, but loved Barry. I appreciate everything he did for me. Dave, I think, Barry kind of legitimizing me as part of the reason you reached out to me, whether you knew it or not, to do the podcast back in 2018. He gave me a lot of the information I used to spit out on Pirate Radio in my creative way. So just from and Barry certainly got a lot more of the show for his accomplishments than helping me out, but I'm just speaking to it from a personal standpoint. And I know you were friends with Barry also, Dave, and I don't know if Landis or Coach Hill knew Barry, but Barry Kearney's a huge loss to the Pirate community. Yeah,
I was going to say that I'm very sorry. I know he kept it. I did not know he had cancer. I did not know he was sick.
Yeah, Dave, I can comment on that a little more. He did not get diagnosed with, I don't know if he wants it out there public. Well, he's passed away, and I don't know if his family does. So I won't say what kind of cancer it was, but I will say it was cancer. He did not get diagnosed until April, the first part of April. And Dr. Bream was the first to diagnose him. And he went to see John, and, it went from there. But, yeah, he didn't know he was sick until really late. I think I don't want to get all the personal aspects of it, but he wasn't diagnosed until really late and kept it quiet and didn't want anybody to know. And very few people knew. And yeah, he'll be missed.
Definitely. And just want to say, give a shout out to Barry, because Barry was, like Kyle said, not to repeat everything, very influential. Very down to earth. He knew a lot of people, but I like the fact that he was very low key. He
yeah. I mean, he was. You know, he used to go to when Lincoln Riley was OC here. You know, him and Lincoln used to go to lunch together every week, and you know, Barry just wasn't the type of guy that kind of stuff was something he'd bring up. But you know, I knew it, but it wasn't something he bragged about.
Right. All right. So let's see. We got a lot of new people on. So I want to get, by the way, we're live on, first of all, we're live again, guys, on Instagram. And soon, by the way, Kyle, we're going to be live on Instagram, on X. I always want to say Twitter. But anyway, we're going to be on Twitter.
We're live on Facebook, YouTube, and now Instagram, and we're
LinkedIn.
Okay, we're going to be live on Twitter also. Okay.
Paul's going to start his own social media, so he'll finally get on social media. We'll have to come up with the name of that. And Landis will be he'll be the CEO of that social media platform. I'm trying to get all the terminology right. But guys, you guys are out and about tonight, and I guess the red carpet's out. And where are you guys located?
We're down in just want to give a shout out to Bram and Tiebreakers over here. We've got a special guest tonight. Not only in about 30 minutes, we've got the mayor of Winterville.
Ricky Hines.
All of Winterville's cheering right now.
Mayor Ricky Hines. We pulled him out, and Ricky and Bronswell and myself play baseball together, and I definitely wanted him part of it. They're really dear friends, and to have the mayor on the show and between us, it says a lot about what we're trying to do. And again, shout out to Tiebreakers here in Winterville for Bram, and we appreciate the setup and the hospitality. So come on down. We'll be here for another hour or so or longer, as long as Dave wants to keep us on the show.
Well, at some point I got to pick my son up here in a little while, being dad. But I'm just upset because I'm going to have to stand up for Kyle right now. He doesn't feel included on that table. There's no batteries on the table. I see East Carolina hats and pecans, and there's no batteries.
Wait a minute. We do have the fly fan. We have the fly fan.
We got the wind energy for Kyle. You can throw that pretty far.
You can throw this. You can cut them up. The other day you had trouble. I found. Well, they gave this to us because there were flies flying around outside, not inside the restaurant.
Outside.
Yeah. Please. The mayor of Winterville does not want to say that a restaurant that's one of the most popular restaurants in the area has flies.
They got a beautiful outdoor sitting area, that kind of transitions inside. So it's just a really nice setup tonight.
Let me educate you guys a little bit about radio. If you want to have a sponsor, please don't say you have a flies in a restaurant.
Outside.
Okay, all right. Well, no laughing matter when it comes to the Pirates. We had a tough weekend again, winning 1 out of 3. But again, guys, I think that we could probably record one show and have it for the whole entire season. I don't want to sound, Kyle, I know, and you guys, I don't want to sound repetitive, but it's a lot of the same things, including errors at shortstop. You cannot have, when you make mistakes, the other team is more than likely you're going to make you pay for it. And we get one win, but unfortunately on Friday and Saturday, we did not. And so we are who we are. And guys, do you want to talk before we have Bronson on? Do you want to talk about the seating? And I know we were talking about it in the green room before the mayor got here about and Kyle about the different. We can talk scenarios, but we've got it nailed down. We are the 6th seed. So, Coach.
When do we play? Tuesday? Is it South Florida or Tulane?
Yeah, it's South Florida, right?
Okay. South Florida, number 3 seed.
Yeah.
Okay.
So again, hey, you've already seen them. I'm gonna do I'm Coach Hill. I'll pitch it to Coach Hill first, and then
fastball.
I wants to jump in. You've already seen them, so you know what to expect. There's going to be no secrets out there. I don't think there's some mystery pitcher out there they can throw. So it is what it is.
I would throw whoever they threw Saturday if he's ready to go.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's going to be Norby.
Yeah.
I would say they saved Norby this weekend.
No, I mean South Florida. If I was South Florida, I would throw whoever they throw through Saturday again if he's ready to go.
Yeah. I would. You got to when you're in this tournament, you got to take one game at a time, one end at a time.
I was going to say the same thing. I think Coach will have them ready. This right here is one of these things. We all play baseball, and it's just one game at a time. And play the best you can, and try to minimize what you was talking about earlier, errors. You can minimize them and just put the ball in play.
Well, that's one of the things I wanted to talk to you guys again about, and Kyle jump in on this too, is the fact that I think for me, I've said all season long, but we've got to have quality at bats. Take your time. Like I tell my son, it doesn't matter if it's farm league, little league, Babe Ruth, college, whatever, minor leagues, pros, you've got to have quality at bats. What I mean by that is sometimes I feel like we're too aggressive and we take their bait, whatever they throw. And other teams know that I can throw some trash at you and you're going to just swing at anything. I'm not saying that if it's your pitch, you obviously, I don't know what your pitch is because I'm not you, but at the same time, I think we need to kind of slow the game down. Another thing is when you switch on, stating the obvious here, but when you are hitting the first pitch, then you're helping that pitcher out because his pitch count is only 1 versus 5 or 6.
Yeah, I'll ask the guys this to kind of jump off what you're saying, Dave. You're talking about approach at the plate. If you're going in the conference tournament here, it's kind of late in the season. It is what it is. Is it too late to get guys to change their approach? I mean, obviously, you're always coaching. You're always trying to switch things up. But, it's conference tournament time. Season's almost over. Is it too late now to have guys start changing their approach at the plate?
Yeah, hitting's contagious. We always said that. First guy gets on, I think the approach is going to have to be, good at bats, like Dave said, but we're going to have to get the first guy on in the inning. You're going to have quality at bats. You're going to have to put pressure on them on the bases. It's going to have to be an all-out blitz, per se, on offense. It's going to have to be hitting the ball around the park and just bottom line, hitting, banging the ball all the way around the park. And in terms of the pitching stuff, I feel like, going with Norby, a guy who's known to do it, and if he doesn't do it, have him on a short leash. If he's out there walking 2-3 guys, you got to pull him because I believe it's double elimination, but there's really no tomorrow when you're in tournament time. It's kind of doing that.
Yeah,
it is double elimination, but with our pitching, I do not think we could win it at the losers bracket.
Yeah, it's really difficult. They make it really difficult to win. We've done it out of the losers bracket, but again, when people say we don't need to save Norby because we may not have tomorrow, meaning
we can't save anybody.
Yeah, we need to go. That's one area where we need to be aggressive and go ahead and pitch who we can pitch now.
Because it ain't.
That's right.
Yeah, well, I want to ask you guys, all of y'all, after the game, game 3, I guess it was Saturday. I said when I said the South Florida, I meant the guy Friday. The guy that beat us 10-0, we didn't score. That's who I would start Friday or Tuesday if I was South Florida. But anyway, Saturday after the game yesterday, Coach Godwin was a little, Coach Godwin can be a little short-tempered. And after the game, he was asked basically about Clearwater, and first thing he said was, this is the first time we've been in this situation since 2017 where we've had to play our way into the NCAA tournament. So all the fans out there complaining and wanting me fired and want the staff fired, better be careful what you ask for. I just, what do y'all make of that comment? Is it just Coach Godwin being Coach Godwin? I haven't heard anybody asking for him being fired. Yeah, people are angry, they're bitching. But I haven't heard anybody asking for Coach Godwin being fired. That would be completely idiotic. So I thought that comment was a little unnecessary. Also took it, is he alluding to the fact that he may have other opportunities that he may pursue because he feels underappreciated? Or was it just Coach Godwin being Coach Godwin?
He has a right to defend himself over there. So we had an off season, okay? When you start talking about firing coaches, I can give you 2 prime examples.
I don't think anybody is, though.
What's that?
I don't think anybody is talking about firing him. That's the part that I was confused. Why he brought it up. I don't think anybody's talking about it.
But right, exactly. I don't think. But with that being said, to even think of that right now is, like you said, idiotic. I mean, we'll have to do it the hard way. We'll have to play in and take one game at a time, and one inning at a time, win each inning. And next thing you know, we got a W, and then move on. And like Landis was talking about the pitching, being a former pitcher and stuff, and we're getting ready to get one of the greats around here. You can ask him. If you're not doing the job in these conference, then you got to go to your next guy, and letting the guy that started knowing, hey, be ready. We're going to need you for the next game. We're going to win this game. You're just not on today. We got to have everybody clicking and pulling for one another, and usually good things will happen.
Yeah. I don't see a reason why anybody would want to fire Godwin. He has an amazing record.
That's crazy.
He's about to set the all-time wins record too. Was he one away?
Yeah.
I mean, I think.
What do you make of him making those comments? Though?
I think for him making the comments, he's probably just, he's at like you said, he's in a moment where he's probably never been before, and it's kind of a defensive thing. And I can imagine being the head coach in Greenville, you probably get on social media a little bit, probably pops up on your screen what people are saying. So, I don't think we should. I think that would be the worst idea, to be honest with you, to fire him.
That's not happening. And first of all,
I come at it from a different approach because being the mayor, sometimes we all pop off. Sometimes we don't really mean it, but we get frustrated in that moment. But in the grand scheme of things, after we settle down, we think about our comments and go, wow, I didn't mean it that way. We had some incidents here in town. I think some things were said, but didn't really mean it that way. But you can't really take everything out of context. Coach Godwin is a great coach. He does a great job here. And I don't think nobody's looking to replace him.
No, exactly.
And most importantly, the administration is not going to get rid of him. So not to say that we want that. So let me be clear. But hypothetically speaking, if we said we want Coach fired, he's not going to be fired even if we wanted him to. And
no, I just thought it was interesting as he made those comments. It was too Coach. Yeah, thank you. I don't know what's wrong with me. It was to Coach Overton, and it was just out of the blue. I was like, "What in the world?" So I don't know if somebody had pissed him off. If maybe there's one major donor running their mouth, or maybe So I just found it odd that he said that after the game. I was like,
you got to remember in the heat of battle, right? He just got done with the season. It's been an uphill battle the whole season. So I know when I was playing, I had a tough game. Somebody called me on the phone after it. I'm still in battle mode, I would say. I'm still ready to win. I'm ready to fight.
And you're going to be a little defensive if you lose a ball game. I'll go ahead and tell you that. I don't care what ball game it is.
Right.
You're going to be a little defensive. And if you don't know how many questions he had asked before he said that. Yeah. And maybe he was a little edgy. Godwin's great.
He's got some fire. And
he's got some fire, and I like that. What's that? Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I think it was just the moment. Yeah. Everybody just needs to erase that. Let's focus on these guys and win this thing.
I mean, because like me and Coach here were talking about, they run, and again, they can do it. They run through this tournament, and they get into the regional and super regional. All this will be forgotten.
Absolutely.
It'll be like it never happened. So that's got to be the main goal. And I think it's got to be, hey, Norby, you're starting. You're on the short leash. Everybody's on the short leash. We got to piece it together, and we got to win game one.
You got to stay positive with the Pirates. I mean, everybody, staff, coaching staff, fans especially, stay pumped
because we've had it good for a while. It's been good for the past.
Hey, and that's what he said in there. The last losing season was 2017, and I can't remember.
That wasn't a losing season. We just didn't make the tournament.
I know, but still, that's to me that. Anyway,
we've had one losing season in the history of the program.
I'm talking about
the eyes
of the record.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the record. I'm talking about the eyes of the average player. If we don't make the if we don't make the regional, then that is a bad year.
No, I agree.
Because we could put cupcakes on the schedule and have a winning record. I mean, that's easy to do. And Cliff should be commended for playing a tough schedule.
Absolutely.
And having the record we have, because that makes it even better. And I was going to say this, look, it's easy to be a Pirate when we're winning, but this is when you become if you're a real fan, that don't turn on this coaching staff. Do not turn on these players when I don't know if any. Look, I'll say this too. None of these players want to lose. Who wants to lose? Nobody's throwing ball games like Shoeless Joe Jackson, right, Coach? Nobody's throwing ball games. Nothing is being done that's like not above board. So we need to be behind. If there's ever been a time that you're a Pirate, I'm going to be screaming at the TV or whatever, or the phone or radio, whatever, and cheering hard for my team because I want them to win even more this year than I have probably ever because we're having a tough year. And it's easy to, we're talking about popping off. It's easy to pop off, but unless you're on that field, unless you're in the program, the best way we can do is give more money to the program. And I heard some people say they're not going to give money to the program because we're losing. That's when you give the money so we can go out there and get more players.
Yeah, that defeats the logic. We're not going to give money to the program because we're losing. That whoever said that, their elevator probably didn't go all the way to the top. No, that defies logic. And quite frankly, I haven't heard any of this. Not much. I've heard it's fine to be critical. It's fine to question things. I do it all the time, particularly during football season. It's fine to question things. But I hadn't heard anybody personally that has mentioned anything about Cliff Godwin being fired. If you say anything like that, you may need to go get a CT of your brain. But so I just wonder where that's coming from, and then we'll get off that topic. But was it just heat of the? I think it was probably just heat of the moment.
Period.
Do what?
I agree.
I think they need to charge from a battery.
Kyle's got some batteries.
I think everybody calls on it.
All right, let's get some comments and questions, guys. So we've got comments and questions. First of all, Brendan Shapiro, alum of our show, he said, "Rest in peace to Barry Kearney, a great Pirate." Absolutely, Brendan. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
He said, "Never
was great,
but I know his impact was great." Cindy, one of our regulars, says, "Happy Sunday, Kyle. Can you explain what happened July 1st? You said last show something about money in the NIL. Is the university allowed to pay players in? I'm confused."
Yeah. Yes. Correct. Good. In July, revenue sharing becomes a thing, Cindy. Revenue sharing meaning the university will be able to distribute money directly from the athletic department from revenue to players. So the university will be able to start paying players directly. Also, this isn't, there's going to be some changes coming to NIL, to collectives, etc. We have started we meaning East Carolina has started the purple gold. What's the term they use in purple and gold? They're not calling it club. What are they calling it, Dave?
Oh my God, I'll have to look it up.
Purple and gold, whatever. It's going to be the new kind of giving arm for NIL. It sounds like eventually Team Boneyard will be going away.
Correct.
So yeah, some changes are coming. Some of it is official, such as revenue sharing, but some of it's coming down the pike with what's being done by Trump and Tuberbelt and some other people that are trying to regulate this. And I think Gilbert is trying to be proactive with that. But yeah, to answer your short question, or to give you an answer to part of your question, yes, starting July 1st, revenue sharing becomes a reality, and there will be money going directly from the athletic department to student athletes, which I think is the model we really should be going with. And then you just give more money directly to the school and let them spend it how they want to in terms of athletics. I think that makes a lot more sense than the current model with these collectives. The collectives, Team Boneyard and other collectives have not gone away yet, but it is coming. But yes, to repeat myself one more time, July 1st, revenue sharing becomes the law of the land, and all universities will be participating in it. I haven't seen numbers for how much money we're going to be sharing, but I did hear 75% of our revenue sharing will go to football, then the rest of it will be divided up to basketball, baseball, and women's basketball.
Well, we need to keep the collectives in, but
yeah, and there may be actually, Dave. There may be. I've heard there may be some restructuring coming to the 23 club also.
By the way, what you're referring to for the Pirate Club is called, I believe, the Purple and Gold Society.
Correct. And there is conflicting information on how that's going to work. I've heard rumors that any amount will be given to that. Then I've heard rumors that to be a member of the Purple and Gold Society, you have to commit to give $25,000 over 5 years. So, and then Team Boneyard will still exist to take small donations, which will then be given in one account to the Purple and Gold Society. So there's all kinds of moving parts out there, and there will be for a while. But one thing we do know for sure is revenue sharing becomes a thing July 1st.
That's
Yes.
good. We're doing something with it.
Absolutely.
You know? Like that's jumping on board July 1st. That's a big deal. So
That's
Yeah.
right around the corner.
hopefully that'll just keep guys if we need it.
And I will say that, guys, we need to make sure when we're talking to the donors, make sure you give as much as you can because I know, Kyle, I know what you mean.
Yeah, and David, I don't mean to cut you off, but for Cindy and for anybody out there, we will be working on. We've had John Gilbert on multiple times in the past, same with Ryan Robinson, and the same with Hank Hinton, and we will have them on sometime during the summer to discuss this in more detail.
She's asking also, Kyle, where would you be sending the money to? Team Boneyard, Barnyard. Okay, yeah, that's a different one. That's for Coach Hill. He has his own collective, Team Barnyard for Coach Hill. If you send it to Team Barnyard, that goes directly to Paul Hill, and that's not going to help ECU. It'll help.
Yeah,
Coach
Team Boneyard. She just made a typo. What was the question?
I'm just kidding. I had to bust on Coach Hill a little bit.
I don't know where that came from. Hey, fact check that one.
Yeah. So the question was, would you give the money to Team Boneyard for NIL? Maybe a stupid question, just asking where we should be sending our money for NIL. Yeah, for the time being, give to Team Boneyard. Correct. You know, if it needs to start being given to the Purple Gold initiative or society, Team Boneyard will get that money over there. But for this very moment, yes, give it to Team Boneyard. And again, we will have Hank Hinton and either Gilbert or Ryan Robinson on to talk about this in more details at some point. But yeah, for the time being, give to Team Boneyard.
She said that Cindy and her husband watched the show and they enjoy it. Thank you very much. That she may be wrong about. She just needed clarity. So thanks to Kyle and all of us for
absolutely
that. Also, want to say hello to Preston tonight. He said, "How we doing? We're doing good, Preston. Anytime we can talk ball, you know, and be with our friends, no matter Coach Hill and Mayor.
You know, I just realized that these questions come up at the bottom of my screen, and this is so much easier for me to see. I just literally realized that. I've been looking at the top of the screen. Anyway, keep going.
Oh, by the way, Grimesland Bigfoot loves the my reference for Coach Hill. His collective is called Team Barnyard.
Send it over.
Here we go.
There we go.
Here we go.
All right, and let's see. So also, let's see. Hold on. We're getting a lot of, hey, by the way, we're getting a lot of comments and questions. You can do that Facebook. You can do that also YouTube and Instagram now. So one last question, men. How does the university decide how much money each player gets? We donate a lot each month. We're just curious how it's decided how much and who decides how much money each.
Yeah, I don't know how it's going to work in terms of revenue sharing, but in terms of NIL, it's pretty much value. It's kind of fair market value. How good is a player? The position? How much does it demand? You know, last year our highest paid player was Sean Revel, and that was just based on what he could get going somewhere else and how much we could afford to pay him. To my knowledge, our current highest paid player is Caton Hauser. I could be wrong on that. Last I heard, you know, I don't really know that they want these numbers public, so I won't start spitting out numbers. But he's getting a significant amount. I can tell you, Revel last year was getting about $160,000. And he was offered $300,000 from an SEC school and decided to stay put. So it kind of just literally is market value. How much could that player demand on the open market, and what are we going to have to play to keep them? Some guys, you look and we had a kid that a DB that could get a significant amount from Virginia Tech, and we didn't think it was worth paying him nowhere near what he could get from Virginia Tech. So it's kind of determined on fair market value, Cindy. How much is that player worth in terms of what he could get going somewhere else? What can we afford to pay him?
All right, and we'll get a few comments. Bronzeville is backstage in the green room. Bronzeville will be with you in just a second. I'm going to squeeze this in really quick. Johnny says, I'm not disappointed by this weekend's results. We didn't field our best lineup in any game. That's what happens the weekend before the tournament if there's not much at stake. I like the 6th seed. All right. And Justin said, evening, guys. What's up, Justin Butts? And Cindy says, thanks. All right. So I think we are good there. Let's see. And we have some questions. We'll say, Preston, we'll get your question to Bronzewell. Let's go ahead and bring in Bronzewell now. Bronzewell, how you doing,
guys?
How you doing?
Glad to have you on.
You guys hear me okay?
Yes,
we got you, Bronzewell. Coach Hill, if you will, introduce Bronzewell and tell people about who he is and his background real fast.
Can you move that TSO a little bit?
I will see. We've got the.
That's all right. While you're doing that, Bronzewell. I'm excited and tickled to death.
There you go.
I've got a dear friend of ours, the mayor of Winterville, beside us, and Landis Wilson down there at the end. We got 3 graduates from D.H. Conley High School. Live remote here at Tiebreakers in Winterville, where Bronzewell grew up. I'll let him tell you a few things, but Bronzewell and I, dear teammates back during the Conley era. I knew about them coming up through, middle school, A.G. Cox, and we became dear friends, and our relationship is tremendous. I love him to death like a brother, as well as this guy beside me right here. We played ball together, Mr. Ricky Hines, the mayor, and, Landis being a graduate from D.H. Conley. But anyway.
05 state champion.
Yep. You had to throw that in there. But anyway, I'd like to introduce a dear friend, special guest tonight. And we all admire and we're very grateful for your time. I know you're a busy man. Bronzewell Patrick.
Yeah. How you doing, guys?
Currently, you're with Bronzewell.
Hey,
you're with the A's,
Excuse me?
I said you're with the A's right now. I know that we have to say just A's. I learned that this week. So
athletics, Dave. They don't like to go by the A's anymore. It's just athletics. Bronzewell,
just the athletics.
Bronzewell, talk about, if you will, just before we get into details about your relationship with Coach Hill and everybody. Tell everybody about, for those uninitiated, about your professional career playing in the major leagues. What year you were drafted and coming up to make it up to the big leagues with the athletics organization.
Yeah, I signed out of high school back in 1988, formerly known as the Oakland Athletics Den. Started out in rookie ball that year in 1988. Moved all the way up through the system, Oakland system, got to AAA, 1994. With Oakland, but at that time they had a lot of big league players. Big league pitchers that were pretty established. Dave Stewart and Scott Sanderson and Kurt Young. Those guys were pretty established. Bob Welch. So I wasn't going anywhere, even if I put up good numbers. So I moved over to the Houston Astros. Spent a couple of years with them, basically like 3 years with the Astros in their AAA. Farm system, and then eventually have my breakthrough with the Milwaukee Brewers back in 1998. So, I was in AAA with Milwaukee and actually sitting in the stands that day, and one of the PR guys came over and said, "Hey, manager wants to talk to you in the clubhouse," and I'm sitting in the stands charting because I'm pitching the next day, and I go in the clubhouse and he tells me, "Hey, it's been a long time. We know you've grinded throughout the minor leagues, and you're finally going to get your shot to pitch in the big leagues." And I just broke down and cried, and called my mom and told my mom I was finally going to be a big league baseball player. And we both sat on the phone and cried that day, and it was great, man. I met the team in St. Louis, and when I walked in the clubhouse and met Phil Gardner, and he's like, "Hey, man, it's been a long time for you, and we're happy to have you here with us. And just make yourself at home, and we're gonna pitch you. You're here for a reason." So I put up good numbers in the minor league. So just walking in that St. Louis clubhouse and seeing my name on the back of my jersey in the clubhouse alongside the rest of the guys, man, it was just something that I'll always remember for the rest of my life. Pretty much spent the whole year with the Brewers that year, which was 1998, and moved over as a free agent, signed with the Giants. Pretty much stayed in the minor leagues up until first week of September. Giants ended up calling me up to the big leagues, and it was great being a teammate with Barry Bonds, Jeff Kent, JT Snow, and we had Dusty Baker as our manager. And lo and behold, he'd put me in a few games before my birthday, but on my birthday, he put me in the game, and I was able to pick up the win on my birthday, which, man, to this day, I still thank him for that. And being able to get my first win with the San Francisco Giants on my birthday was something I'll always cherish for the rest of my life as well.
So you pitched in the major leagues in '98 and '99. I thought you were done. I didn't mean to cut you off. Keep going.
No, you're fine. Yeah, that 98, 99 was that was the 2 years that I pitched in the big leagues.
So you if I heard you right, you said you got drafted to rookie ball in '88. So
yeah,
it was a decade to get to the league. How, I would imagine now that probably never happens. How uncommon was it back then to stick around the minor leagues for 10 years and finally make it to the league?
Oh, it was very uncommon. I was fortunate enough because I was a guy that threw a lot of strikes, and I was a grinder, man. I always kept my team in the game, and didn't walk a lot of guys, and I just went out there and I competed every day in and day out, and teams kept giving me an opportunity until finally I got my break after 10 years, like you said, with the Milwaukee Brewers. And it was a great opportunity because I pretty much stayed in the big leagues for that whole year of the 1998 season.
So how did you keep, one, you're playing baseball and getting paid for it. So I'm sure you just enjoyed that aspect of it. Joy, you get to play the game you love and making money. But how did you, keep that perseverance, stay focused, in the minor leagues when your goal is to get to the big leagues? Did you ever feel like it wasn't going to happen?
Of course. There was times I wanted to walk away from the game, but, Kyle, I knew my talent was there, and I knew eventually I could, pitch in the major leagues, and which I did. But I always trusted myself. I trusted my ability. I always had great support, family, friends, just telling me, I've worked too hard to walk away from the game. And, I listened to them and listened to my heart. And, my father had passed away, and I'd always told myself, and I told my mom that, I was going to be a big league ball player. And, just that in itself, made me work harder, made me push myself. And I was able to live out my dream. But there was times I wanted to walk away from the game because it was, I'm like thinking, oh man, maybe I should think about doing something else. Should I go back to college and play football, or should I keep, working hard to try and become a Major League Baseball player? And, something just stayed with me to say, hey man, you have the talent to pitch in the big league. So just keep working, and eventually it happened.
Bronzewell, I had a question. Obviously, you don't have to answer this question, but I'm a huge fan of Barry Bonds. There's a lot of guys in that era. This week with the commissioner, Manfred, when he has Shoeless Joe Jackson and, of course, Pete Rose, where they can now be eligible for the Hall of Fame. Guys like Barry Bonds, Mark McGwire, Clemens. There's a lot of guys that deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. And the way that, when people, and I'm not going to get you to talk about steroids, so don't worry about that. But let me just tell you this. If I take steroids prime, I could have never hit a home run. And they were great players. They Major League Baseball overlooked that during that period of time. And now to not let them in the Hall of Fame, I think is a disgrace to the Hall of Fame. Again, you don't have to comment on that, but I do think they are worthy of, those guys mentioned are worthy of being in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, Bronzewell, I think, is speaking with silence.
There he is. We're back. Yeah, we got you back. It froze up
Did he freeze up? I just thought he wasn't answering the question.
Yeah,
Freeze up on.
Do you have any comments on those guys? Do you think Major League Baseball should allow
Did I
them to be
freeze
in the Hall
on
of
you, or
Fame?
you guys good?
Yeah, we're good now. Yeah, I thought you didn't want to answer the question.
You guys,
Yeah. Did you hear the question, Bronswell?
yeah, he was talking about Barry. I heard the question about Barry Bonds.
Yeah. Just do you think
and
those
Mark
guys?
McGwire.
Do you have any opinion on whether they should be in the Hall of Fame or not?
No, I definitely think they should be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, just watching, being a teammate of Barry's, just watching him day in and day out, the way he went about his business, the way he, played the game. I was actually telling Paul about this the other day about, people, they took Barry the wrong way, because I know Barry had, he had people surrounding him day in and day out. And, there was times where when he needed his space, and, they were hounding him for interviews and things like that. And, but I mean, Barry's a great person. I definitely think he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, the guy had some of the best hand-eye coordination that I've ever seen today. But, definitely with, the numbers that he put up, the way he, played the game, I think he definitely deserves opportunity to be in the Hall of Fame.
Another guy from that era that I think deserves to be in, that he's kind of on that same list of are they going to get in or not, is Sosa. And Broswell was reading a little bit of something Paul sent to me earlier. In Wrigley Field, you gave up home run number 61 to Sammy Sosa during his run in '98. What do you remember about that game, and particularly that moment?
Negative Nelly. You had to be Negative Nelly.
I'm a Cubs fan, so I love reading that.
It's all good. I think the ball is still traveling on Waveland Avenue, by the way. When I just remember when he hit it, it sounded like a firecracker. It went off, man. It was a hanging split finger, and as soon as it left my hand, man, I knew. I was like, that's trouble. And once you're in the big leagues, you make a mistake in the big leagues, they capitalize on it, and that's what I did. I made a mistake hanging a split to Sammy Sosa, and he hit number 61 out on Waveland Avenue. And like I said, I think the ball's still traveling on Waveland Avenue out in Chicago.
Hey,
but,
Bron,
it was rolling.
Hey, for the record, a pitcher never asked another pitcher about a home run. You saw it. I didn't ask it.
I know. Yeah, he got me. He got me on that one. Yeah, but it's all good. I mean, Sosa was great. He ended up signing a lot of stuff for me, man. I got bats, gloves, baseball.
Nice.
It was we ended up playing them probably about a week or two later, and he was like, "Hey, man," he goes, "I know you wasn't trying to throw that hanging split, but I ended up getting number 61 off for you, and like I said, Sammy was great. I'm in the record books, but if I'm going to be in the record books, I'd rather be in the record books for giving up number 61 to Sosa. So, but like I said, it was great. We flew to Cincinnati that night after the game, or that day after the game, and I had to take my phone off the hook, man. It was ringing off the hook. Like, people wanted interviews and stuff. What was that pitch? Sosa say anything to you? And I'm like, man, I'm trying to get some sleep. I'm gonna take my phone off the hook. Yeah. So my hotel phone was ringing like crazy.
You want to take some questions, Brunswell? Do you mind taking any questions
from the viewers? He means Brunswell.
Yeah. Brendan says hi.
Yeah, I don't mind.
What is the pressure like once you make it to the majors? Do you get nervous or lock in and focus at the task at hand?
Yeah, you definitely get nervous. I mean, you're playing with the best of the best, and you have to come prepared every day, day in and day out, to perform at the highest level. Every game I pitched in the major leagues, I was nervous. I had butterflies. Still, when I talk to guys today, the same thing. You're going to have butterflies. You got, 40, 45,000 people in the stands, and, yeah, you're definitely going to have butterflies, but you still got to be on top of your game day in and day out.
We have another question from Johnny Gardner. He's a basketball guy. He says, can Bronzewell speak on his hoops career with Phil Medlin and Bershawn Thompson?
Oh, yeah, man. I still stay in touch with Phil, and I text I see Bershawn on Facebook. But, yeah, man, hey, Phil Medlin, man, great basketball player. Bershawn, great basketball player. Love playing with Phil. It was great to see him go to Wake Forest and do what he did, playing in the ACC. Just being a great all-around person, and the athleticism that he had coming out of D.H. Conley. I had a blast, man. We won the championship with that group, so I had a blast playing with Phil and Bershawn. Awesome
Dave,
time.
new rule, Dave. Anytime Johnny Gardner asks a question, you have to read it in Johnny Gardner's voice.
Okay, I'll let you do that. It's a class. John White, former pitcher for the Pirates, says, on a positive note, tell everyone about the bomb you had Bronzewell in the bigs.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that was same thing back in 1998. We had just flipped over to the National League because I was with the Brewers 1998, and that was the first year we that was the first year we played in the National League, and we was actually playing the Diamondbacks, Arizona Diamondbacks, and I came in to pitch that game, and Phil Garner goes, "Hey," he goes, "I'm going to let you hit right here." So I was like, "Oh, cool," I get a bat in big leagues, and in the big leagues, and I was facing Felix Rodriguez, who was at that time, he was like 94, 95, that was straight gas back then, because now everybody's throwing 90, 94, 95. That's average now, but back then he was throwing like 94, and I'll be honest, man, I just stuck my bat out there and closed my eyes, and the ball just happened to hit the bat, and it went over the fence.
It's that easy.
It went over the fence, and it was great to actually. I'm gonna tell you, man. When I swung and it hit the bat, I didn't even actually feel the ball hit the bat. That's how solid I hit it. And it went out in Milwaukee County Stadium, and that was something that hadn't been done since Skip Lockwood back then. So, there I am, in the record books again for that. But it was awesome being able to hit my first home run and being able to do it in the big leagues. I hit quite a few in high school, but being able to do it in the major leagues is something different.
So you never did it in the minor leagues?
No, I didn't. No,
wow,
never did in the minor leagues. Even though we hit in the minor leagues, I never did. But I did once I got to the big leagues.
Well, just curious question for you. Since you were with the Brewers, and I can't remember what year he retired. He may have been retired. Did you play with Robin Yount, or had he already retired by that point?
No, Robin was already retired, but he was always around the clubhouse. So he's another great dude. He was always around, hanging out in the clubhouse and just talking to the guys, just being one of the fellas. And just Robin was awesome. Like I said, he was always hanging around and giving his insight on how we could get better. And once he was talking, man, everybody listened. So it was great. It was a great opportunity to be around Robin Yount.
Yeah, I remember that 1982 World Series with the Brewers and the Cardinals. Taking everybody back, but I told my family I wanted to go to the World Series. That was not the first World Series I remember, but the one that I really wanted to be at, because those teams were so good. And man, it's bringing back memories. Bronzewell, do you have any? I'm going to put you on the spot here, not about baseball. Do you have any dirt on Paul Hill?
Oh, my man, Paul.
Any funny stories that you can tell?
Well, playing with Paul in high school, Coach Allen Wilson would always, make us run laps. We'd run poles and things like that to stay in shape. And Paul, oh man, he was always leading the pack. And I know there was times when I'm like, man, I'm gonna catch this guy, man. I'm gonna catch Paul, man. He's always leading the pack, man. So here I am, man. I'm sprinting, I'm trying to catch him, man. And I could just tell Paul was kind of like looking over his shoulder, he's peeping over his shoulder, and this dude, he would never let me catch him, man. I was definitely trying to catch him, but he would never let me catch him. But Paul could run for days, and I would definitely try to catch him, but he wouldn't let me catch him. Yeah, he wouldn't.
Hey, Bronze, this is Ricky. How you doing, man?
Good, Ricky.
All right. How about a little bit about your coaching experience, Bron? A lot of people don't realize you did some coaching too. So,
Yeah, I'm fortunate enough now to be actually the assistant pitching coordinator for the A's. But yeah, just after I retired, Ricky, San Diego gave me my first opportunity to become a coach in their minor league system, and I took a year or two off, just to spend some time with the family, and I went out to they had instruction league. I live in Arizona now. They had instruction league out here in Arizona, and the farm director asked me who had signed me out of high school, which was crazy. He was a farm director, Grady Fuson, but he had signed me out or saw me out of playing high school, and he was with Oakland A's. He was with the Oakland A's at the time that I signed. He ended up being the farm director for the San Diego Padres, and he asked me if I wanted to come out and kind of see if the coaching side of it, would I want to be on the coaching side of it, or did I want to do something else? And it took me about a week and a half to go to instruction league and watch the guys, and then finally I walked in. I was like, yeah, I think I want to coach, and he gave me my first coaching job. And that started out in rookie ball here in Arizona with the Padres, and ended up spending about 11 to 12 years with the Padres as a coach, mainly at the AAA level. Spent like 6 years at their AAA level. And, Ricky, it's different because, they're paying these kids a lot of money nowadays. And, these kids are making $3-4 million when that's their signing bonus. So it's like, man, am I going to be able to coach this guy? Is he going to be coachable? Is he going to listen to what I'm saying? Is he going to want to do his own thing? But lo and behold, man, every player that came through the Padres system at that time was great guys, man. Whether, they didn't stay in the minor leagues that long, whether they had a long time in the minor leagues, which I could relate to them because I pitched a long time in the minor leagues, and I was able to, give those guys my experiences through the minor leagues, and they listen, man. I mean, there's guys like Miles Michaelis right now who's pitching in the big leagues, Joe Ross who's pitching in the big leagues. I mean, I can go on and on with guys that I was able to develop, and now they're still like pitching in the major leagues and having success. Max Fried for a little bit. So it's great just seeing those guys going out day in and day out and performing at the highest level that they are right now.
Hey, Bronze, quick question. We got a former catcher down here on the end. Those guys that kind of they claim that they make us look good.
Right.
Yeah.
But I wanted to chime in with this guy down here. But I wanted to ask you, as a former pitcher myself, who was your favorite catcher you like to throw to?
That's a good question.
My favorite catcher.
And why?
I would have to say Brett Maine, and Brett Maine played with me with the San Francisco Giants. But I also, what? I got to go back and say the main guy was Mike Matheny. Mike Matheny with the Brewers. That was my first year coming in as a rookie. And I'd known Mike Matheny anyways because we had played winter ball together in Puerto Rico. So, I knew of him and he knew of me. So once I got to the major leagues and he was catching me, he just made it so easy for me because he knew the hitters. He would always walk me through, different scenarios on certain situations. Like, hey, we're not going to pitch this guy. We'll pitch around to this guy. We'll pitch around this guy to get to the next guy. And just the way he set up. I mean, he was a wide body guy. I always liked the catchers that had that wide frame back behind the home plate because it gave me a better visual. And just having him back there and the knowledge of the game that he had, it kind of made it easy for me because I didn't really have to think. Everything he put down, it was like, okay, I'm going to throw it because this guy, he's been around for a while. He knows what he's talking about. So I would have to say Mike Matheny, just his knowledge of the game and the way he guided me through different situations to get through the game.
Ron, I'm kind of disappointed because I thought you was going to say our former town commissioner, Mark Smith.
Hey man, that's way back in the day, man. That's way back in the day, man.
Mark, you didn't make it, man.
Hey, Mark was great, but man, I got to give some praise to Mike Matheny. Hey, no, Mark Smith was great, man. He was great, but hey, my memory, man, I can't hold too much up here now.
Mike Matheny was a great player. So.
I was just teasing you.
I do have
a Mark's great, man. I actually miss being back home, man, seeing you guys and being able to hang out and talk like we're talking right now. But I do stay in contact with Mark, and I'm just happy to see what he's doing. And Ricky, I'm proud of you as well to see what you're doing. Paul, Landis, all you guys, man, I really appreciate everything that you guys have done.
I did have a question for you if you have a couple more minutes.
Yeah.
So East Carolina is having a tough year in baseball. We found out today we're going to be the 6th seed. You know how fans are. Fans will be fans.
Yeah.
But as far as if you were the manager of the team and like you have a 6th seed, that everything that could go wrong this year pretty much has gone wrong. But you have the conference tournament. You win the conference tournament. You're playing a regional, and who knows what a brand new season, if you will. What would you tell your team, knowing that you've had tough time with pitching, you've had a lot of errors, you've had so many one-run games we've lost this year? No excuses, but what do you tell the team this week?
Just go out and be positive. Hey man, anything can happen at any time. We still got to go out and compete, keep our heads up, play the game hard, play the game that we know how to play, and just go out and take it, one pitch at a time, one at bat at a time. Don't try to do too much. Hey, just keep passing the baton on to the next guy. Take your walks. Guys, go out there and throw strikes. Let the defense behind you play defense, and just stay focused because in baseball anything can happen. But the main thing is just keeping these guys positive, keeping them with a good attitude. Hey, it doesn't matter if you're 1 seed or 6 seed. You got in the tournament, and like I said, anything can happen once you get in the tournament. So the main thing is just keeping them positive, keeping them motivated throughout, and just going out and playing hard. Like I said, throwing strikes and going out and compete. Yeah, play the game smart. Just be aggressive. Be aggressive on the base pass, but at the same time, understand like, hey, man, the situation of the game is pretty much going to dictate on, how we do things. So my thing is just keeping them positive in the clubhouse, in the locker room, and just going out and compete. Just give it all you got. Pitch by pitch, at bat by bat.
Hey, Dave, Mayor had something to say. That was a great question. He had something to say he wanted to share with everybody out there.
Okay. I was just saying that we honored Bronzewell back in 21 with a proclamation, for his time in the league and all his accolades, and plus from being here in Winterville, being the first out of here to do it. And so we wanted to make sure we bestowed that honor on him. He's one of us in Winterville, so we just wanted to make sure.
Hopefully I can meet you in person this year at Paul Hill's big shindig he has.
Yeah.
What was that like definitely for you? What was that like for you to get that honor from the city of Winterville?
It was big. It was a big honor for me. You know, I appreciate Ricky and I appreciate the town of Winnable. Like you said, that's where I grew up. You know, I just walking over to W.H. Robinson, going to junior high at A.G. Cox, Coach Baggett. You know, Coach Baggett was like a father figure to me, and as well as Coach Alan Wilson over at D.H. Conley. You know, but, you know, just being able to grow up in Winnable and, you know, go out to W.H. Robinson and you know, take a tennis ball and play out on the fields out in at W.H. Robinson, and being that close to home because I could walk across the street to the across the railroad tracks to go home, and just having the support of all you guys, man. Mark Smith, Paul, you know, Ricky, all my guys, all my friends that are still there to this day. You know, definitely don't forget where you come from, and you know, just being in that atmosphere of when I get back home, just feeling the love that I have when I get back home is something that I will always cherish for the rest of my life.
Bronzewell, thank you so much. I know you've been on with us for about a half an hour now. I appreciate your time. I know you're very, very busy. One final question for me, and guys, if you have anything, but we'll start to wrap this up. But what's it like right now with the team? I know moving from one city to another, but eventually you're home in 28 in Vegas.
Yeah, I'm actually flying with. I'm actually going to meet the big league team tomorrow in Sacramento. Gonna go watch. We're playing the Angels tomorrow afternoon or tomorrow evening. But it's tough because, you know, right now our big league team is playing in Sacramento AAA Stadium. So it's a little bit different for the guys. You know, it seats like 8,000 people, and of course, well, we weren't even getting that in Oakland. So the guys are pretty ecstatic about playing in front of 8,000 people right now. But it's a little bit difficult because, you know, the ball does fly out of Sacramento, but the guys, you know, they got to go out and compete. You're in the big league, so you got to go out and compete. You got to execute. You know, you got to play the game the right way, because if not, I mean, they can ship you out at any time. So it's tough for guys to be able to compete in that stadium, but at the same time, the other team is playing in that stadium, so you got to stay focused. You know, our road record is much better than our home record, but I think that's going to turn around, you know, with the next few, you know, couple games that we have coming up with the Angels. So it's tough because the guys they're not, you know, they're staying in hotels, they're renting houses, and they can't really get comfortable. But at the same time, you know, it is what it is, and we have to get through it, and guys have to get through it. But you know, we're looking forward to going to Vegas. Vegas is going to be something that ballpark in Vegas is going to be awesome.
That's a great
idea. Seeing the layout, it's going to be awesome. So
yeah,
definitely looking forward to that.
We'll have to come out and see you with. We'll have like the Hangover where we lose Paul and
yeah.
And Steffi is like calling us like, "Where's Paul?" And I'm like, he's in the bathroom right now.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. I love that. I love that.
Bronzewell, thank you again, man. We appreciate you. You're welcome anytime on the show. You've been a lot of fun, and nice to meet you virtually. And hopefully we can meet you soon down the line in Winterville, or tiebreakers, or definitely ECU.
Yeah. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing Paul over there in December, man. I missed it this past December, but I told Paul already, man, I'm looking forward to being there this coming up December and meeting all you guys face to face. Of course, I know Ricky pretty well. Landis, Kyle, I'll get to see you guys, David. You know, it's gonna be fun, and I'm looking forward to it.
Mark your calendar. December. We'll set a date. I'll let you know. Mark your calendar. I know you had your hip replaced. You might be able to catch me now.
Oh, I might be able to, man. Hey, I might be able to get you now, Paul.
I got it.
He's putting you on notice.
I don't know if I know the new style catching, but I can try to catch on to it, because they didn't teach us that way, you know.
Yeah, that's right.
Look, Haynes comes out when we work out with these young people, and he'll get me to throw a pin
He's yeah.
I can still do it.
He's still got a little life on the
I still got-
fastball.
He still got it?
Look, I'd love to say he didn't, but he does. He's got it.
Oh, there you go.
Hey, we need some pitching right now, Paul. We're looking for a few guys, man. Might have to sign
Yeah,
you up.
Rookie. It's called the movie we're going to be made. It's called The Rookie 2.
If you could just give me a rule else, I'll come pitch.
I'll do it. I'll catch.
And it's Major League start at 58 years old.
Yeah, no doubt, man.
Yeah, we got all three of us can go.
I negotiate. It's
Hey,
total pack.
I might have to make a phone call. All right,
we still got it.
There it is. Thank you, Bronze. Hey, good seeing you, man.
All right, good seeing you guys too, man.
All right. Have a great one, man.
Appreciate you.
Love you, bro.
Right.
All right. See you. Bye-bye.
Love you guys.
All right. Great catching up with Bronzeville there, guys. And I have to do some dad duties. My son is actually at a event with the church, and I'm already supposed to get there live at Tiebreakers tonight. And also appreciate them for having us there. And hopefully, don't forget to get your peanuts, right?
The pecans.
Pecans.
Pecans, pecans, but not peanuts. Come on now.
Yep. Right. Long day, man. Long day. All right. Thank you, Kyle. Thank you, Mayor. Appreciate it very much. Landis.
Yeah. I'm back.
Yeah. All right. Good luck to the Pirates this week, and we'll have our extra innings next week, and we'll talk more, guys, off the air, but enjoyed it very much. To all of us in Pirate Nation, we're going to be pulling extra hard from in Clearwater. We'll see how it goes. Josh O'Neill, one of our regulars on here, said he's going to be down there. So make sure to have some fun down there in Clearwater for us, Josh. In the meantime, you've been watching Extra Innings live from Tiebreakers. And for me, Studio B here back at home, and Kyle is Studio C, or maybe Studio A at his home. But we'll get out of here. Have a good night, everybody. And as always, go Pirates.
Ran out. His battery ran out.
You're watching The Sports Objective, the podcast for Pirates.